Welcome back to DONSLIFE, welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining today. Today's video, we're installing these. These are white DRLs, amber sequential turn signals that go in the front bumper of the C8 Corvette right there. So they replace those strakes or whatever you want to call them. I think it'll be a nice, cool, updated look. You've probably seen these before. It's probably nothing new, but if it is new to you, I'm going to show you how to install them. Let's go. You know, it's summer, I'd love to film this outside for you. Unfortunately, that's not gonna happen. Look how hazy it is. We are under a smoke advisory warning, an air quality warning, if you will. We shouldn't even be outside. It is terrible. It's actually hard to breathe. And I'm sweating way more than I would like to admit. This is my second shirt that I've had on today. We're just gonna close the garage. We got the side door open to let a little airflow in here, and then we can start with the install. Now, there are a couple ways you can tackle this install. You can take the wheels off, you can remove the fender liner, and you can get behind this area here, take these off. These come off in one piece, and then you can hook up the new light here, and then I can show you how to wire it. We're gonna do it a little different. We're gonna take the whole bumper off, mainly because I have this protective grate in here, and that's gonna make it hard to work with this with just the wheel off. So it's actually gonna be easier and probably quicker if I take the whole bumper off. Now, if you're familiar on how to take the bumper off, then you don't need to watch this part and you can skip ahead a few minutes. But we have some screws that need to be released in this area here. So we still have to pull back the fender liner. I'm hoping not to take off the front wheel. We'll see. And then we have a whole bunch of screws underneath the hood or the frunk. Undo these fasteners here as well. And then we'll have to take this lip off because it's held on by all the screws that hold on to a tray underneath. And then we should be able to pull the bumper. Probably easier said than done, but that is what we are going to do. Now, this piece under the headlight's a little more difficult. I was able to pry back the fender liner and get in under here. It's not really easy, you need small hands like me, but there's a 7mm screw that holds it into the body right there. And there's two more of these that just need to be loosened because they're just holding this bracket. So once you get the first one out and then just back these ones off a couple turns, you can pull this out. Not easy to get in there. It'd be easier to take off the wheel to get to those, and I just don't want to take them off, and I want to challenge myself and take off the bumper this way. So now we just have to take off these trim pieces, get to all the screws that are under here, and I might have my underglow that's also attached that I got to watch out for. Bumper is off. I've already went ahead and done one side so I can make the tutorial for the other side, which is the same, go much, much smoother. So first I have to take off this protective screen that helps protect the radiators. I got to remove that, so getting into these bolts from behind is just much easier. That's part of the reason why I pulled off the bumper. And then we'll be able to get to the screws that hold in the strake or that cross piece that's there. And then we'll be able to pop it out, pop the light in, and then we'll be able to hook it up to the car. Now, this light fixture mounts a little bit differently. On the back, you'll notice that there are bolts ready to go, where the original, we had to rely on putting screws in. So these bolts come with nuts. So we just have to fish these through the same holes, and all these clips in the same spots that it was taken out of before underneath here. So we'll just go ahead and do that. Now, these wires, you'll just tuck in the side here. Can't be scared of dead bugs when you do this job either. I've got quite a few in that mesh. We're going to pass the wires up right in the spot that they would naturally come through, which is this hole here. And then we're going to start with the outside first. Clip this in. And it is in. Okay, that's all clipped in. You can see where I have the wires coming out. We'll just hang them over the side for now. Now we just need to secure those bolts with the nuts provided. And then I'll secure the screen over top. Then we can look at putting the bumper back on and making all the connections. Now I pulled the wheel off of this side because we need to get to the back of the headlight harness. So to get the bumper off, you don't have to pull the wheel well liners back all the way, but you need to get them back a little further to get behind the headlight. So we did have to pull off this wheel. So we'll get the bumper back on, we'll attach this side. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. And then once the bumper is back in place, we'll have the wheel put back on that side because I can only do one at a time. And then we'll take this wheel off, pull the fender liner back, and we'll attach the wiring because we have to get to the headlight wiring, which is back here. This is just wiring for the bumper. So I have the plug and play kit. This plugs into the vehicle and into the headlight. So it's basically like a piggyback. And then this 4-pin connector will go to this side here. And then this is your sequential turn signal. Right now it's hooked up to act in a sequential manner. If you want it to just be a solid blinking signal light, you would disconnect that and you would cap it off with these pieces that they give you here to make sure you don't get any water intrusion. And then on this side here, it's exactly the same. We have the 2 harnesses. It's set up for sequential behavior right now. And here's the 4-pin harness. So let's get the bumper put back on. And then we can worry about hooking up the wiring. We'll start with the driver's side, put the wheel back on after, and then we'll do the passenger side. And then we should be able to fasten everything down. Now in behind where you connect the wiring, I chose to hang my wires up in this cavity here so you can fish them up in behind some of this metal structure. You can reach your fingers up in there, pass them through. We'll just tuck the sequential signal light up into that cavity, and then this is going to plug into our harness. But first we need to disconnect the headlight up here. There's one of those locking tabs on here. Just got to find it in the back and then squeeze the little button that it frees up and pull that out. So now we'll just hook up our piggyback connector and then plug in our 4-pin harness. So this one doesn't have the same lock, but this is what the button looks like. We are just going to hook this up first. Sorry for the angle. Just make sure it clips in. There. That seems to be in there. Now for the other end. Sorry, I'm doing this one-handed and filming. Makes it a little trickier. Makes it a lot trickier actually. There, connected and locked. And then you can just tuck it up out of the way. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And then as for this, pretty straightforward at this point. Plug it in. Again, I'm doing this one-handed. There, locked. And then you can tuck it back into this cavity. All right, they're installed. I'm going to hit unlock and you'll see the amber sequential signal come on. So that's unlock. Then you'll have the white DRLs. They're flickering on camera but not in person. That is a frame rate thing with the camera setting. So sometimes you'll get that. But that is what they'll look like with the white DRLs. And then we can hit lock again. So I like that it flashes amber. Pretty cool. I think it's time for a montage. Well, there we go, another install done on the Corvette C8. I am sweating like crazy. You can see a sweatband there on the hat. Again, it's like 40 degrees in here, high humidity. It's just kind of really gross. Be glad you're on the other end of the camera and watching through a screen and you're not here in person. Trust me. Now, I definitely like this install. I think these LED DRLs give it more of an exotic look, a little more of a supercar look. These are from Paragon Performance. I'll leave a link in the video description below. This is not a sponsored video. I purchased these, but you can still check out that link if you want to know more. They have a much longer video tutorial on how to do this installation. They're going to show you how to do it if you have a hoist or a lift, so you can take the wheels off and get it everything a lot easier. This is just me doing an installation demonstration here in my garage with hand tools if that's something you're going to have to do. Definitely taking off the wheels makes it a lot easier. It would even make it easier to take the bumper off and put it back on, but sometimes I'm stubborn and I do things a little bit backwards. But that's okay. By the end of the video, you'll know exactly how you'd want to do it. So that being said, if you liked today's video, hit that like button. Please consider subscribing, and we'll talk to you next time.